focusing on your individuality. Think Spice Girls, think Sex and the City, all about the individual and being different to the other females. We see in social media, all actually kind of looking like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner. Low self-esteem, lack of identity, financial burden, and lack of individuality. Actually sending a clear message: with enough money, you can look completely different too. You can fight this. Hi, I'm Jasmine. I provide online mental health support services. I provide the usual online services, videos, face-to-face, email, instant message or chat or phone. Just head to my site, the link is in the bio, and you can make an instant booking that way. So thank you for tuning in today. This topic in particular is really important to me. I personally feel that the standards of beauty today that we see in social media, they're actually creating low self-esteem, lack of identity, financial burden, and lack of individuality. From a psychological perspective, I'm going to explain social media to a loss of individuality and sense of self, and how we as a society perpetuate a beauty norm where we all look the same, with quite a bit of pressure to have plastic surgery in order to achieve this aesthetic. Have you noticed how each decade the norms of beauty change? So, for example, in the 50s and 60s, Marilyn Monroe was attractive, but that didn't mean we all had to have short blonde hair and red lips. It was more that classical beauty, that hourglass body, and whoever fit within that ideal. Sophia Loren was another icon of beauty. The 90s, we had the supermodels, but they were all beautiful, but all they shared was their height and their slim build, pretty much. So Cindy Crawford, Naomi, Christy Turlington, all uniquely beautiful women. Even the Spice Girls, we celebrated their diversity. That's what was important. It wasn't that they were looked a certain way. We liked how different each of them looked. They were just attractive in their own way. And that's what made them appealing. In the 2000s, I feel like Sex and the City was huge and really influenced women. The beauty was very much, you are beautiful because you are you. It was on emphasizing their existing features and individuality. They didn't have layers of garish makeup on and rarely had their nails painted. Yet each and every one of those women were gorgeous. The star SJP, I know people are divided on her appearance, but I think she's so pretty just as she is, with her unruly hair and her lips. They were just lovely. But if she were up and coming today, a nose job, chin work, lip fillers, and straighten that hair, and then that way she could look just like everybody else. We are all just looking exactly the same. So that's where it's becoming a problem. We're all actually kind of looking like Kim Kardashian or Kylie Jenner. See, 1/8 of the world population uses Instagram every month, and half of that, or 500 million people, use it every day. The most followed accounts, I think all of the Kardashians, Jenners, bar Kris, occupy a spot in the top 20 most followed accounts. Many of us, we just see their aesthetics that are quite achievable. Now we know that they're quite achievable because even they don't look like they did originally. Comparing before and afters, they look completely transformed now. And I know a lot of people giggle out of about the Kylie Jenner before and after memes, but they're actually sending a clear message. With enough money and dedication and makeup, you can look completely different too. You can look completely different to who you are. And you'll look like, not yourself anymore, but you'll look like everyone else. You'll just look like everyone else does. I don't understand why, and I understand that people can get plastic surgery and feel better. I'm the same. I feel more confident with makeup and a nice outfit than I would if I didn't have makeup on. So I'm not saying using makeup, taking an effort in your appearance, even getting plastic surgery is going to be harmful to your mental health. Absolutely not. What I'm talking about is how we are losing our sense of individuality by all looking the same. I do stand by my belief, though, that there are better ways to build self-esteem that are not associated with improving your physical appearances, particularly in an artificial manner, and particularly where it looks different to who you are. See, as more and more people look like this, and we start to become conditioned into believing that this is beautiful, and don't get me wrong, they are aesthetically appealing, but as this becomes the norm, we associate that particular look with beauty. See, a beautiful person has a funny effect on the human mind. Research in neuroscience suggests that if you make eye contact with a physically attractive person, it activates an area in the brain called the ventral striatum, and this part associates with the reward center of the brain. Once you break eye contact, the activity decreases, and so does the reward. So this just works to reinforce the perception of beauty. Then when you see someone with, say, thin eyebrows and, I don't know, thin lips, even if they're attractive, it's not the image of attractiveness that you're conditioned to receiving a reward from, and you won't engage either by swiping to the next image, or if you're actually out meeting people in real life. I think people still do that, right? Don't worry, I'm just as bad. But then you've got a higher chance of dismissing them. So our conditioned reward reaction perpetuates this notion of beauty, and then another psychological factor perpetuates the spread of these new beauty norms. How that happens is people tend to emphasize physical attractiveness more during their late teens and early 20s than in any other life stage. This is also unfortunate because your sense of identity at this age is also shaky, especially in late adolescence. So typically what we do is have a preference for friends who are similar to us because they reinforce our sense of identity. So we hang with people who are like us, and then you start to become even more similar because of time spent together, and because it reinforces your sense of identity that may have been lacking before. If one girl within the group adopts this new beauty norm, then yep, you guessed it, the chances of everyone in that friendship group doing the same increases. See, the power of beauty is quite an interesting study in psychology. Did you know the research suggests that more attractive people even receive less harsher penalties in the court of law? Studies of children show that even a child will pick the most attractive doll from a bunch of dolls to play with. Essentially, it's a chemical reaction within our brain reinforced by behaviors. The problem is there is pressure to be beautiful. It yields advantages that can be traced back to evolutionary psychology, but it was one thing to aspire to be beautiful through focusing on your individuality. Think Spice Girls, think Sex and the City, all about the individual and being different to the other females. Instagram in particular is perpetuating a very expensive and unnatural beauty norm that is to the detriment of individuality. You can fight this though. I'm not saying delete your social media or stop wearing makeup. Hello. Follow people for their achievements and intellect. Plus, I bet that will have a positive effect on your mood and self-esteem. So at the end of the day, seeing people that look like this on your Instagram all day is quite harmful to your sense of worth, sense of self-esteem and identity. And if you want to learn how to build your self-esteem in a way that does not involve expensive surgery, then you're welcome to talk to me. The link is in the bio, and we can work out a plan and work through any unresolved issues together.